Welcome back to the Explainer. Okay, today we are literally cracking the absolute code of Google's AI overviews. If you've been banging your head against the wall wondering how to transform your approach to search visibility in the age of artificial intelligence, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to look at some highly exclusive, grounded blueprints that reveal exactly how AI decides who gets cited and, more importantly, who gets left completely in the dark. I am so pumped to share this breakdown with you.
So let's start with a pretty painful reality that a lot of us are facing right now. Why on earth is Google's AI quoting your competitor but completely ignoring your client? This immediate, highly visible loss of real estate in AI search is what we call the citation gap. And honestly, it's incredibly frustrating. You know you might have the absolute best content out there, but if you're stuck in this gap, you are practically invisible to the modern searcher.
Okay, let's dive into this and break down this highly technical, algorithmic topic into some very logical, actionable pillars. First up, we'll unpack the AI citation gap. Second, establishing entity clarity. Third, structuring content for LLMs. Fourth, measurable EEAT signals. And finally, we'll wrap the whole thing up with the fixed blueprint so you know exactly what to tackle next.
All right, part one, the AI citation gap.
We absolutely have to start here because AI overviews are now capturing a massive share of user attention before a single click even happens. If you aren't cited in that top box, you are losing traffic instantly, even if you technically rank on page 1 below the fold. Because of this, we've got to make a core mindset shift. We are moving away from traditional human-focused SEO to modern AI-focused signals. Look, in traditional SEO, quality was evaluated mostly by human raters who actually appreciate nuance and narrative. But here is the harsh reality. AI citation systems don't have opinions. They don't care about your prose. They only have structured signals. If those signals are missing, the AI literally cannot evaluate your worth.
So what's actually causing this gap? Well, it usually boils down to these root causes. The entity isn't verified, you're missing direct answer formatting, you've got weak topical coverage, or there's absolutely no schema markup. And here is the real kicker. Most sites fail on at least 2 of these before a single word of their content is even evaluated. That's right, the AI completely skips you before it even reads your brilliantly researched article. Moving right along to Section 2, Establishing Entity Clarity.
This right here is the absolute prerequisite. It's the bottom of our optimization pyramid. But first, we need to define what an entity actually is in this context. An entity is a named, verifiable thing like a person, an organization, or a place, living in Google's knowledge graph that Google models with total confidence. Without clear entity status, AI systems just treat your clients as anonymous publishers. To the machine, they aren't known, trustworthy sources, they're just random, unverified pages floating in the void.
So how do you know if you're failing this test? The entity diagnostic failures are crystal clear. You have no Google Knowledge Panel, you're missing a Wikidata entry, you've got inconsistent name, address, and phone or NAP data, and weak organization schema. I mean, something as simple as a mismatched address across a few web directories or just missing a Wikidata entry completely destroys an AI's confidence in who you are.
So, how do we actually fix it? Well, having an exact blueprint checklist is brilliantly effective for locking down your identity. You need to check your current entity baseline, run a full audit on your organization schema, and desperately prioritize creating a Wikidata entry while claiming your Google Knowledge Panel.
The absolutely crucial takeaway here is simple, and you really need to hear this. Start with entity verification. It unlocks everything else. This sequence matters. Listen, do not even bother restructuring your content or rewriting your blogs until you have verified the underlying entity first. You have to prove who you are before the machine cares about what you say.
Okay, on to Section 3, Structuring Content for LLMs.
Once the AI actually knows who you are, we have to make sure it can easily extract your answers. Think about the fundamental difference between a human and a machine here. Human readers, they love a long, engaging, story-led introduction. It draws them in. But large language models? Oh, they want the answer immediately. If you bury your answer way down in paragraph 5, the AI is simply going to skip you and cite a competitor who gave a blunt, direct answer right in the first sentence.
Let's look at the specific structural roadblocks that are probably preventing AI extraction on your pages right now. We're talking buried answers, flat heading structures, which means you're only using H2s with zero semantic hierarchy, and missing explicit FAQ or summary blocks. Think about it like this. If you treat your headers like they're just different font sizes, rather than a structured logical map, the AI gets completely lost. It literally needs that structural map to navigate.
Thankfully, the fix here just requires restructuring, which is a whole lot faster than rewriting everything from scratch. You need to rewrite your openings to prioritize direct answers, meaning answer the question first and provide the context second. Implement semantic headings so your H3s represent specific sub-questions. Add explicit FAQ blocks wrapped in schema. And clearly define your entity references rather than using vague pronouns like our company.
Which brings us to Section 4, Measurable EEAT Signals.
Moving to the very top of our optimization pyramid, we're looking for these specific signals that prove you are an absolute authority. EEAT, as we know, stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. But here is the critical distinction you have to make for modern search. In the AI era, these are evaluated algorithmically via structured and semi-structured data. We are no longer trying to convince a human rater, we are feeding highly specific, machine-parsable signals directly to an algorithm.
To pull this off, we have to focus on highly measurable actions step by step. You absolutely need to be adding person schema to your author pages, injecting first-person experience signals, like explicitly stating, "We audited 50 sites," instead of just throwing out a general claim, and systematically building verifiable third-party mention signals across the web.
So why do so many great sites fail the trust test? Well, it usually comes down to these specific failures. No author entity pages, missing first-person signals, absolutely no third-party mentions, and inconsistent attribution. Let me really highlight that first one. Lacking dedicated, heavily structured author entity pages is just a massive missed opportunity for agencies. Every single article must be tied back to a verified human entity if you want the AI to trust it.
Finally, Section 5, the Fix Blueprint.
Let's pull this entire explainer together into a totally clear blueprint so you can get right to work. Here is your master sequence to audit tomorrow morning. Step 1, verify the entity. Get that knowledge panel and Wikidata entry entirely locked down. Step 2, restructure priority content. Go to your highest value pages and literally move the answers to the very first sentence. Step 3, build author entities. Create dedicated author bios completely decked out with rich person schema. You must execute these in exactly this order. Now, a really fascinating pro tip to point out here relates to your schema, specifically populating the same as array. A lot of people implement organization schema but leave that same as field practically empty. No way. You need to populate it with every single authoritative profile you have: LinkedIn, Crunchbase, Wikipedia, all your social channels. This directly tells Google exactly how your web presence connects, and it dramatically accelerates your recognition. Now, I do want to set some realistic expectations for you here. Consistent EEAT signals compound over 3 to 6 months to produce durable authority gains. This isn't some overnight hack. These algorithmic signals actually take time for the AI to model confidently. But once they do, the durable visibility gains are incredibly powerful, and it becomes very, very hard for your competitors to catch up to you. I'm going to leave you with one final, kind of provocative question to chew on. Are you building narrative content for humans, or are you building structured signals for machines? To win in modern AI search, you have to recognize that your first audience is the large language model. If the machine can't parse your entity, your structure, and your authority, the human will literally never even get the chance to read your content. So, start your audits, fix those signals, and claim your spot in the AI overviews. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.